Now that we've enhanced this picture with the exposure adjustment layer, we can now begin to work with color balance and balance out the image. So a couple of things you may be noticing about this image. There's a lot of red and yellow. You can especially tell by the yellow highlight that is in the shine on her forehead. If you're not quite sure how to tell whether there's too much red or yellow or magenta or blue in your picture, here's a tip. Go to one of your favorite professional photographers' websites. View their portfolio and see if you can kind of compare a professional finished photo to your photo, and something as simple as that kind of compare and contrast will help you see where your own picture might look a little bit too red or yellow. So the first thing we're going to do is go down to the adjustment layers icon at the bottom of the layers panel, the little yin yang symbol, and we're going to select color balance. Now the first option that we're given is to adjust these colors in specific tones. Right now we're working in the mid-tones. As you can see, there's a drop-down menu there that says tones, and mid-tones is selected. You can also work in the shadows or the highlights. Now I'm just going to drag my red slider a little bit more towards cyan. See how that's taken out a lot of the red in her skin. And now I'm going to drag my slider away from yellow and towards blue, not too far, and that's gotten rid of some of the excess yellow in her skin. I'm noticing though that the highlight right there on her forehead is still very yellow. So that means we should go to that tone drop-down menu and select highlights. Now we're working in the highlight range of our image, and we can now move that slider away from yellow and towards blue, and you can see now the highlight on her forehead is becoming white rather than yellow. We still need to work on the reds. So I'm going to drag my red slider towards cyan a little bit. And see, now the skin tone is looking a little bit more correct. I'm still noticing quite a lot of reds in the shadows. So I'm going to go to that tone drop-down menu, go to shadows, drag my slider away from red towards cyan, and away from yellow and towards blue, not too far. You can see now the shadows are going a little bit too blue. I'm especially looking at her hair. Her hair has kind of become a little bit blue there. So you want to find that sweet spot where the shadows become nice and dark, but not too blue, not too red. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Now let's see the before and after. Before, see how red that was? Right? It was almost glowing on fire. And now with the color balance, we've evened the tone down. You can also, lower the opacity of this color balance if you want to bring a little bit of that redness back in. Because if you like that kind of reddish color, you can just have a little bit of it coming through. And that looks pretty good. Again, before, after. Now let's look at our little goat here. One thing I'm noticing is there isn't a lot of color balance needed, right? So sometimes we can just open up color balance and we can play with, warming the image up a little bit. Right? Before, the image was kind of like high noon. After, now it's kind of looking a little bit more sunsetty. Now this indoor image here, we can really tell it's very, very yellow and red. And this is a common problem with a lot of photos that are taken indoors. So again, I'm going to bring up my color balance adjustment layer, drag my slider away from yellow towards blue, and away from red and towards cyan. Not too far. And now let's see the before and after. Before, see how orange and yellow that was?